Hello YouTube, you got me, VGH here once again with another deck list profile video here. We got Grass Fox. Found this little guy online, and in all honesty, Hydrapple is one of my favorite Pokemon, but he hasn't really had anything to work off of for quite some time. And by that I mean, like, Hydrapple had a list with the Teal Ogerpon, and way back when, before rotations happened, it had like Lilligant and Lilligant V-Star that kind of made it work. Long story short, Hydrapple has had a history of kind of working and not really doing anything. And there was no real in between. You either were completely set up and you can just win every single matchup so easily, or you just get thrashed. The meta consistently changed to add fire Pokemon to deal with things like Dango that just kind of hurt Hydrapple, or power creep just made Hydrapple's attack not as effective as other attacks. So, like, Hydrapple has had a weird space. This deck kind of works as one of the strongest Hydrapple lists I've seen. And we did take it into a 5-2 record into top 8. Let me go over the deck list real quick with you guys, and I will get into the gameplay video that we have to show off what the deck can really do. Obviously, we start off with the main supporter Pokemon of the deck, Teal Ogerpon. Of course, with this Teal Dance ability, you can attach a grass energy from your hand onto this Pokemon. Not only does it generate energy for the Pokemon, it generates additional energy for Hydrapple's attack. It also allows the Meganium to set up its ability with Wild Growth, doubling the energy you attach to Teal Ogerpon, giving it 2 energy onto the board rather than 1 energy onto the board, making it work a lot better. It allows us to use our Myriad Leaf Shower sooner. It does more damage over time. Deck needs to have 4 Teal Ogerpon. Then our other Pokemon working with a 2-2-2 line of Applin, Dipplin, Hydrapple. I haven't really found a reason to use any other version of Applin or Dipplin, since we're not really in a meta where the coded Apple, I believe, is Dipplin, where it's 1 energy, 50 damage, but if, like, your next turn, your opponent's basic Pokemon don't do damage to it. I don't think we're really in a meta where that one really takes any real difference over this Dipplin. So I also believe that Dipplin uses a 3 energy retreat cost. The other Applin has a 1 energy, 10 damage flip a coin if heads 20. So you could one-shot a Badoo with a 50% chance, but you could also do 10 damage, and then you could accidentally roll into a 10 damage again. So I kind of want the Applin safety 20-20. If they don't have the, like, Monkey Dory, I guess you could do the 20 damage kind of thing. It doesn't really matter for Applin and Dipplin, so these ones were the better ones in overall. Moving forward, though, we do run Hydrapple, which is its special ability, Ripening Charge, allows you to place a grass energy from your hand onto one of your Pokemon. This includes himself, and for every grass poke energy on the board, its attack, Syrup Storm, does 30 damage, plus 30 damage for each one. So when you attach one from the ability, you can attach one from Teal Ogerpon's ability, you can manually attach, placing a whole bunch of energies all in one go. And then we run Chikorita, Bayleef, Meganium, all as a 2 count, because Meganium's Wild Growth ability changes all basic grass energies into double energies, effectively making Hydrapple's ability gain plus 60 damage onto its attack. Teal Ogerpon also gets plus 60 damage for every energy that gets attached to it, and Teal Ogerpon also gets an extra 30 damage for every energy your opponent has as well, so you can actually add up that damage really quickly to hit those big numbers you're trying to hit. One of Hoothoot Noctowl line, I did use it. It just seemed a little more niche than I wanted it to be, because of the fact you still need a Teal Ogerpon and the 1 of space on the board and the opportunity to search the 1/1. You have to make sure you always have it. Made it a little awkward, but it definitely has its place there, especially when you can use it to go get things like Unfair Stamp to hit your opponent. We just all run the 1 of Tapu Bulu, which is a 4 energy, 220, does 30 damage to itself. But it also is a great option when you're running Meganium, because you can use Hydrapple to give it an energy, manually attach an energy, and suddenly you're able to hit a single prizer that hits 220 damage very, very easily. We do also main deck Fez and Meowth as our support Pokemon. Deck does sometimes have a little bit of a trouble trying to find everything it needs, but that extra draw power really does help out. The supporters, nothing really special here. We have Lillie's Determination, Boss, and Dawn, all of which obviously do the same things that they've always done. Lana's aid usually helps us pick up the missing cards that we have, or if we have to use an Ultra Ball or something along those lines to toss something, it does help us get those cards back. Since we run Frost of Vitality, we could also use Lana's to pick up an entire line, like a Chikorita, Bayleef, Meganium that's gotten knocked out, and bring them all back to the board. So it does give you a safety net if your opponent tries to go after one of your support pieces, such as knocking out a Teal Mask Ogerpon with a bunch of energy, or a Meganium, so when you lose a double energy play, you can go into Lana's to get back those energies, to get back those Pokemon, to bring them all back onto the board very, very quickly. Bug catching set, Poké Pad, Ultra Ball, and Night Stretcher, along with Unfair Stamp. Very basic cards, don't really need to go over those. And the Forest of Vitality, of course, allows you to evolve your Applin, Dipplin, Hydrapple, your Chikorita, Bayleef, Meganium all in one move, making your play go much, much faster, or fixing some things as the game goes on. Let us get into our gameplay. I apologize that I yapped a bunch there. There is a lot going on with this deck because there is a lot of different lines you can go, and sometimes you really got to believe in what you want to do in order to make this work. Let's get into the gameplay. I'll show you what I mean. All right, and just a reminder, this actually was a tournament run that we had. I only took the 4 games because one of them was just a start game over, where we just started the game, had a Teal Mask, put an energy down. Next turn, ability plus an energy, because my opponent had nothing, and we just smacked our opponent's Pokemon and knocked it out of the game, and that was just one of our lucky matches. This is our very first match, and I thought this entire tournament was cooked because of this match. Because our very first match was for the wins Typhlosion into our grass type deck. And I'm like, of course, my first round in a tournament has to be the one fire type deck that just got a YouTube video showing off how good it is. And thankfully, our opponent, well, I'll show you what I mean. They start super strong, find their Victinis. I was doing all the math, like 2 Ethan's Typhlosion, or 2 Ethan's Adventure in the discard pile, and I've already lost. Our turn 2 was immediately hitting a Meganium onto the board, setting up all these other Pokemon while trying to figure out where is the safe play where I can set up another Pokemon really fast. We got that. We got the Hydrapple on the board. We got Meganium on the board. We got so many things that are just good immediately. And we're trying to set up backup Pokemon if our opponent goes after the Meganium to, get our safe space. But also, Meganium does hit that 140 sweet spot where we can take it out with, you can use Victini, you can take it out with the Quilava as well. So we're trying to make it so that way we can take out their single prizers with our single prizers, because unfortunately, this is a single prize versus a double prize matchup where they have an advantage in typing as well. So we have to try our best to steal 2 prizes before they can steal our 2 prizes. So that way we can, lean into the whole, okay, if we can run them out of resources, if we can, run them into the ground of just, they have nothing to play, nothing to do, maybe we can figure something out. And unfortunately, they've already gotten the Typhlosion. They have another one on the bench. We hit them with an Unfair Stamp. We try our best to, where can I go with all this stuff? I need to get more cards, more plays, more energy on the board. I have Meganium, so all my energy is doubled. So I'm just trying to, where do I go with this? How do I win the matchup? I'm just finding more cards. I have my double Meganiums. I have a Meganium with an energy, so I am able to retreat them if they try and do a pull it in and then lock it in play. Because, as you see, their hand is very poor right now. They did get the Drag Cloak set up so we can start drawing a few extra cards and hit a Pokegear 3.0 into a Ethan's Typhlosion, or Ethan's Adventure to set up. They got the Drag Cloak into the Quilava and then search Ethan's Adventure and don't get it. So, they already have 2 in the discard pile, so it doesn't really matter at that point, but the fact that they had it in hand, they could just get more pieces out, and I'm just like, well, what am I supposed to do? Score is, they have 3 prizes left, I have 4 prizes left behind me, so I'm trying to, figure out, okay, they only have a Typhlosion and a Quilava, so all I have to do is just clear the one now, not lose the game, and clear the Quilava, hoping he doesn't put down a Cyndaquil, and maybe we have a chance at winning the game, so I'm just trying my best to find everything set up as quick as possible. We weren't using the Noctowl this game because our Ogerpon was most likely going to get knocked out. If they wanted to target a 2-prizer, that would be the 2-prizer they go after to stop me from getting anywhere. And since we had a 2-prizer on the board, he was going to try and boss it up regardless. So because of that thought process, it didn't matter if they took out a 2-prizer or a 1-prizer. If they went after Fez, it honestly would have been better for me. So I put down the Fez to get the draw 3, and I put down the Hydrapple to get more energy on the board, and Tapu Bulu was able to take a swing on him. So we're trying to not use our 2-prizer still kind of make it a one-prizer game, try and make them look for a boss's play. They did, they got rid of Hydrapple, but they left Tapu Bulu, so it's like, okay, Bulu is the answer now, I guess, because I need to clear things and have him not clear me. We have Meganium set up as an attacker. His board state doesn't show me any other Typhlosion pieces. I'm just looking through my deck. I'm like, what do we have? What do we have? Okay, maybe I can try and find a boss play to clear something else, or like set up my hand in a better way, or, you know, thin the deck for more energy, whatever it is. We're able to clear with Woodhammer. It doesn't matter because he can one-shot anything here. So even if I retreated the Bulu, I don't have Hydrapple anymore, so I wouldn't be able to attack with it. So one shot would get a knockout no matter where I go. The idea is save myself from the energy switching. So like if he brought a Bulu, I would need to attach an energy, manually attach a second energy, because I have no way of energy movement. So I had to like just keep him there and just use him. He went with the Lanas, and I think he would have won the game if he went double Cyndaquil, because he has a rare candy and he has a Typhlosion in his hand already. And I only know that because he told me after the match in the match channel that he already had both anyway, but he searched out a second one and made a slight misplay. But I think if he went double Cyndaquil there, I think there was nothing I could have done to stop him. You know, Victini can't attack without a second energy, no way of energy generation or setup, so luckily we were able to sneakily take a win against one of our worst matchups, and we did show off it can work, but I will admit the matchup is really, really hard to win. You have to abuse your single prize Pokemon to take out their single prize Pokemon and kind of like argue the point where like it's you have to use Tapu Bulu aggressively and use your Meganiums and bosses orders to take out their single prizes as much as possible, so that way they just can't attack. Run them out of resources, hit them on a good turn with the Unfair Stamp, so that way they, you know, are just not in a good position anymore. But it is definitely just rough. Now, our second match is Q1 Gold Ninja. If you guys see his name in the top left, that is Red, R.E.D. He's another streamer for Pokemon. This is actually our second matchup where we played against one another in a tournament setting. And he was playing Diancie and Dusknoir. Now, he plays at a higher level. He likes to play top meta competitive lists. He's very good. And luckily, our last time we faced off against one another, it was on a matchup where if we ID'd, we both got in. So I was like, you want to just do that? And he let it go through. So I was like, cool. This time, nah. We had to play this stuff out. It was too early in the tournament. It was literally round 2. I was like, all right, let's go. And we did get to play for content on our last turn. Watch this. This is hysterical. So I had to figure out something here. His board state was already set up with that Mega Diancie, and I need to figure out how I'm going to get to where I'm trying to go to clear this Diancie. With its ability, I need to do 300 damage on Diancie to take a knockout. Now, we do have a lot of leverage into this matchup because Mega Diancie is a 3-prize card, and we run 2 prizers that can hit for a 3-prize worth of damage. So, and they're also running Dusknoir, so, you know, they use a Dusknoir or 2, and suddenly they're just in a bad position. Since we were able to take out the Tatsugiri on our turn 1, it makes it so that way we're in a absurdly good position now. Obviously now I need to figure out a way to get to so much damage, 300. We have 8 energy on the board right now because of the doubler from Meganium, and we have to find everything. I'm trying to go like, okay, if I can get Applin into Dipplin into Hydrapple, technically we can get there. And we're just looking for as many cards as possible. We're trying to find, all right, let's go get Dipplin again. If we get the stadium, we can evolve it. We found our stadium, we can evolve into Dipplin. All right. What can we do from here? I have an energy, maybe? Myriad Leaf Shower for exactly 270, because we're hitting for 300, including their energy. We get to 9, so that's 9 times 3 plus 3 for 300, taking our knockout. So we have our Hydrapple, like, already there. We're just missing, like, well, we have Ultra Ball. We can get into Hydrapple when we got that prize. So we have a Hydrapple ready. We have Lana's to get our energy back from the discard pile. Night Stretcher to get another energy if we need it. So we took our 3 prizes. We're down to 2 left because we took the Meganium and the Tatsugiri. So this matchup is definitely favored into us. Yes, their Diancie can take out Teal Mask Ogerpon, but utilizing Hydrapple, it makes it very, very hard for them. Since if they want to take out a Hydrapple, they would have to use a Dusknoir, and our Hydrapple plus Teal Mask combo, so long as we get a Meganium on the board, does grant us that very high level of damage where we're able to just, you know, mount to come back. They use a 3-prizer, take out our 2-prizer, and then we get to use a 2-prizer, take out their Mega. And if they've used a Dusknoir to clear us, that's 4-2, and we're already ahead. My opponent just played really well right there, if you guys were paying attention there. They used the Dusclops to do the 50 damage just to free up a space on their bench to get Ursaluna 1 energy on the board and use the Latias's ability to get a free retreat to make Ursaluna attack. Obviously, he had to hope for the best to not, you know, I had to not have any energies on the board in order to make this work. Thankfully, I did, and he let me just kind of keep going. He did not need to do this, but he's like, you know what? Just let him get the damage, and I'm like, for the content! I was trying my best to get as much energy on the board as possible and then just take the swing. And we take our free knockout, and we win that round too. Diancie is a very favorite matchup into us because we can set up so much damage so quickly. What was our third match? Oh, yes. So, this is our worst matchup, is Dragapult Blaziken. We lost top 8 into a best 2 out of 3 Blaziken and Dragapult player. There was so little that we could do. In top 8, it becomes open deck list, and the person with the higher player seed chooses who goes first. That's the new rulings for regional level events. That's why I love this tournament so much. They play regional level events rulings. So my opponent had seed 2 versus me at seed 7. And since he got to choose who goes first, knows my deck versus his deck, he went first, set up his Torchic, and there was so little that I could do as soon as the Torchic was set up. We take our loss, we're allowed to go first, and it still doesn't make a difference. As soon as that Blaziken comes down, it's over for me. I can't. If he clears one big thing, he has Blaziken, he's got Dragapult, which of course sets up damage for Blaziken to take knockouts, or another Dragapult to take knockouts, and it's so easy for him to get to stage 2s. And if he clears one big card with a lot of energy, it's hard for me to come back from it. So, unfortunately, bad matchup for me. But I do want to show off that you can still win the matchup. It just takes a little bit of luck, you know. In this one, we did end up going first. We got our board state set up pretty clearly as to where we wanted to go with it. We still got our stadium. We got our Meganium out. It's a good, you know, good setup. We're looking for a bunch of cards that can help us out with trying to get from point A to point B. If we find an Applin, we can get an A all the way down to Dipplin play and to a Hydrapple because of our stadium. Unfortunately, we're not really getting as far as we want to. We need more energy on the board, so we just kind of keep getting as much as we can to try and get our damage up. We're missing 1 energy, unfortunately. I still have 1 ability, and we just have to get the right card into Bug Catching Set, into Applin with the stadium. We go Applin, we go Dipplin, we go Hydrapple. We play Hydrapple's ability. We get our last energy on the board, and we get there to 330 damage to take our knockout on that Blaziken. Board state for him looks very bleak. Obviously, they don't really run too much. They still could have Dragapult into Crespin, but I did just show him outright that we have 330 damage on the board as it is. So for them to kind of stop me here, good progress. This is for players who want to know how to stop this deck, is to take out the Meganium. Obviously, it would cut my damage in half. If I don't have Lilies in hand, which you guys can see very clearly, I do not. If I don't have Lilies, then you can very easily stop me. I would need to have the other 1/1/1 line that I have left in the deck of Chikorita and Bayleef and Meganium. So getting hit with an Unfair Stamp into setting up our opponent's Dragapult does hurt me quite a bit. He luckily had to manually attach an energy, and so he couldn't set up the Munkidori to take a knockout here, which he definitely could have done. But he was unable to take out the Meganium. And of course, just like TCG Live, they will always give you the answer to pick up exactly what you're looking for. So I got, you know, I got my Dawn pickup to fix my whole board state, and then just quick Lilies back to filling my hand. It's pretty good. So we did take out Blaziken, we did take out Dragapult, so we're down to 2 prizes. They still have 5 to come pick up, so we already have a board state where 4 energies on a Teal Mask Ogerpon hits for 330. We already have 3 on another one in the back row, and we have, you know, the one in the active space. But the Blaziken needs a manual attach in order to attack. They could have Munkidori with a Dark Energy to clear the active one, but he didn't have the ability to get 2 energies down with another Crespin or something along those lines. So, luckily, we were able to clear out everything we needed to in order to steal the win. But like I said, that matchup is not friendly. So, as you saw, we had a bad matchup, Ethan's Typhlosion. We had a good matchup with Diancie. into a bad matchup, into Blaziken Dragapult, which we got lucky in. And then we got another bad matchup into Alakazam. We don't run things like Mist Energy, because obviously we need only Grass Energies to do anything, and we don't have a lot of single prize attackers that can clear things. So we lose the single prize matchup, and Alakazam can easily pick up 20 cards, and the only hand disruption we have is Unfair Stamp. And now, these days, Alakazam is running Genesect with, like, Lucky Helmet, or Air Balloon, or even the skateboard. Rescue board, whatever it's called. So, like, if they lock our Unfair Stamp, there's nothing we can do in terms of hand disruption because we don't have things like Judge. So, simply put, our turn 1 here was very lucky when they only opened a single Abra and a Dunsparce, and we were able to clear the Abra, so it sets them back a few turns. And of course, as you see, their hand size is only set to 4 as of this moment. They can't do a lot of damage, even if they had the damage to do with this Alakazam. So we were able to set up our Teal Mask Ogerpon, even without Meganium as of this moment, to get exactly what we're looking for. I'm looking for an option here. I'm kind of thinking about going Meganium, but it doesn't make much sense in the time. And I was like, we still have the damage, and we don't need double damage because we already have enough to kind of get the clear regardless. So their maximum HP is 140, so I'd rather just get Hydrapple to get more energies on the board, because if we have enough, it's just going to get the KOs anyway. So, you know, if they have 1 energy and we put 3 energy on Teal Mask Ogerpon in order to attack, that's 150, which takes a knockout on Alakazam. So he was able to get a Kadabra draw 2 into a Rare Candy Alakazam draw 3, but again, he needs to have at least 11 cards in hand to do 22. So he has 11 cards, still hasn't played an energy because the energy's on Dunsparce in the back row. Yeah. So we clear another Alakazam. He's down to 1 Kadabra, 0 Abras, and his discard is like 3 Abras at this point. So it's pretty bad for him. All right, he got his Alakazam. He got 16 cards in hand. Doubling that is 320 damage. He does almost have enough to take out a Hydrapple. There goes now. We have 18 in hand. Gets to 16 to set himself up, but because telepathic energy only gets psychic Pokemon, he gets nothing out of it because all of his Abras are Gonzo. And we get our last energy. There we go. So now we're showing that off. 15. Oh, look at this. I can use my Noctowl because I have Teal Mask in the active. New stadium. Get a setup. Just put out everything and then hit an Unfair Stamp. Puts him down to 2. He has 1 draw option with Dunsparce there, so he can draw 3 more, but getting rid of Alakazam with nothing left, we did lock him out of playing the game, basically. So, game's over. Of course, he plays it out, so just finishing it up there. I do want to say, the deck is a lot of fun. When you don't run into an awful matchup, which I unfortunately have to say right now, Blaziken is still a thing. And there are a lot of single prize matchups. So, outside of Dragapult Blaziken, the deck does do very well. It does really well against Dragapult and Dusk Noir. It does really, really well against most top competitive lists. It has issues with the single prize matchup lists, things like Honchkrow, Spidops, Alakazam, and Blaziken Dragapult. I have run into most of those guys, and it is very, very difficult. Tapu Bulu becomes your best friend because obviously 220 single prizer that can go into those guys is pretty solid, but obviously if they're able to clear a 2-prizer and they don't run 2-prizers, it makes it very difficult to win your matchups. I think there is somebody out there who's going to crack this deck open and make it 1,000 times better, or something will come out in the future that will be good for grass-type Pokemon like this that can make the deck better. Like a spread damage grass-type would be all that I would want, so that way we have a way of fighting off the bloody single-prize lists. But otherwise, it has an issue with single-prize lists. It loves Mega decks, it loves 2-prizer decks, it can challenge both of them very well. It just doesn't like fire types or basics, or single-prize Pokemon. Those decks are a little bit of a trouble. But we took our 5 wins, we went to our top 8, and then we ran into Dragapult and Blaziken in top 8 again, and that guy played way better. And in the best 2 out of 3, it's not like he was going to dead draw twice in a row, so, and even if I took game 2, he would have gotten the choice to go first, which obviously is a huge advantage in game. In who can ever get set up first with Blaziken on the board wins the game. He was just going to clear it out anyway, so we ended up losing. We would have ended up losing in our game 3, but we did take 2 losses in a row in top 8. But I love the deck, and I will bring it up one more time if you guys haven't seen it already. But if you guys want to try it out, the list will be in the description. Let me know what you guys think of the grass deck, and honestly, if you can think of a way to make this thing 1,000 times better, join my Discord at Video Game House, and let me know what you guys have for a wonderful grass box deck. I want to do something with Shiinotic, but I can't find the room. Talk to you guys in the next video. Good.